Kitchen here. You see all the toys. Every time I go to feed Luna treats, she brings a ball down and dumps it on the floor. But see the way I put this old kitchen? They put these decorative end panels right down to the floor. I hate it. See when you're hoovering the floor? And that's annoying. They put an end panel on there. They put an end panel on there. Another one on there. You've got long plumb. But when it came to the washing machine, they had a washing machine in there. Had the dishwasher. When it came to the end, they didn't put an end panel on. They have the edge of the machine showing. And this was done with proper fitters when it was done. This is the previous owners. And it doesn't bother me. Them end panels do bother me. I hate them on the floor. A new kitchen now, what's I'm attempting, that's all the new boards. I haven't taken any of the end panels down to the floor. I've kept them all off the floor. So that's a nice straight line the whole way up. That's going to be handy mop on the floor there, boys, or hoovering, whatever. I don't know what kind of floor I'm going to put on. That's going to be easy clean there, like, instead of all them nooks and crannies. Any wee doggy hairs won't get stuck. This side here now, two machines. It's going to be a dishwasher there. I have a tumble dryer, but it's going to be a dishwasher. That's an old end panel. It's a brand new end panel I bought 13 years ago, lay up in the attic. And see how it's all delaminated even up in the attic? So I've got new end panels. But now I'm just considering now, do I take them down to the floor? That's how you'd normally do it. Take it down to the floor. So I've got my brand new panel I'm going to cut. It's in that box over there. So I'm going to cut it to size. And I thought, well, what if I didn't have an end panel? I have that big bracket out in the shed there. So you can be bolted on there, not be seen, and that'll take the weight. There's not much weight to take. Then I thought, this baseboard's going on here. It's not going to come out here. I'm going to have the edge of the machine showing like it's on the kitchen at the minute. So if the edge of the machines are showing there, should I stop the end panel here? So that I don't, keep it the same height as them. I don't like a chipboard on the floor in case machines leak and stuff. And the only thing, this big bracket there in the shed, you see. Now what I could do is I could go on ahead and fit the new panels down to the floor. If they start warping like that there because of damp, because even when you're mopping the floor, you got water in the floor with a wet mop, and it's going to go in. I could try and put wee plastic feet, just keep it off the floor no more. Or I could put this big bracket on, bury that under the floor there, and she could, imagine that's on the other side of the machine where you don't see it. By bolting that on, she can be kept off the floor, and yet there's a lot of strength in that. I want to keep this tabletop the full width. Normally you cut it back, but I want the machines under. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this batten of wood on the wall, and I'm going to move this unit out. So, see, DIY is all about thinking, like. I started this off because of brain fog. Everything's collapsing. So there I've screwed onto the wall. Now I'm going to unscrew that, and I'm going to screw this batten on. I'm doing a slightly thicker batten down below that, and that's going to move these units out by that amount. So if I put that batten on there, it moves this base unit out, and something for this tabletop to rest on as well. But I need to get it sort of the exact length. I don't want my units, normally a 600 wide, I don't want a 600 wide. It's too cramped trying to get a machine. Try and pull, that's a, what is it, 10, 11 kilogram machine. That's a heavy machine, right? It holds 10 kilograms of washing. So it's a basically pulling it out, like, and just try and get it level. So I want a bit of wriggle room. So what I'm going to do is, because I've got the end panels here, I'm going to put an end panel here each side, level with the doors, but I'm not taking it the whole way back. I'll just be doing it. I'm just doing a couple of inches of the end panel back the ways. And that means, if I say the front here, I leave that 610 wide after the panel's on. You've got 630 at the back. Gives wriggle room. That's the idea. So I don't want it dead tight. I want to be able to wriggle the machine. I'm getting older now, like. The machine has to come out for a reason. I don't want to make it hard for myself. So I need to make sure I get this the right length. So I think the first thing I'm going to do now is I'll cut this batten here now, the size I think it's going to be made. I noticed too in the other kitchen too, they had a wee bit of overlap. I've just got an overlap with no more there, but 10 the end panels on. There's an example there, that end panel doesn't go the whole way back. Doesn't have to, like, just the front. So I'll keep a wee bit of overlap. I want to put curtains on here, so that's enough of space for curtains. It would be handy if I just took it to the wall. That would be the easiest thing to do, but no point in making it easy. Well, the price of oil now, I might really pull the curtains across and keep the heat in. Dreading doing this, dreading it. Once I get started, it's alright. Just pulling machines out again and getting things level. So that unit's level now. I'll start off by drawing a line across where this batten's going on, because this wood's not always straight. It can warp. So you've got to get a true line. And then you go to screw the batten on. If it needs adjusted, you'll be able to see it's going to be a bit crooked. So I'll pull this unit out now. I'm going to try and move this across to there. I'm doing putting the floor is too heavy. So I'm going to pull one end across first, set it on there, crawl underneath, pull the other end and set it on. I can't lift up and down them tabletops no more. So either way I do things like my car's in for fixing today. It's going to be £1,440 for the clutch, and the electrical fault too. If they got time to look at it, so I imagine that if they look at the electrical fault, it'll be £120 to hook on the computer, and then so much an hour after that. I'll see what the bill's going to be. That's why they put kitchens in myself. This is moving a tabletop over when you're on your own. Job done. What I'll do, the plastic's actually holding that back. I have an old piece of hardboard here I've been using. That's off one of the larders. And for the last couple of months, when that panel's been on the floor, I had that on top walking on it. I'll leave that in the tabletop next time. That'll help it easier to slide when I go do it the other way. So whatever time this one here is finished, I'm lifting this one off. To protect the surface, I'll put that hardboard on top. That'll make it easy to slide. So now I get my spirit level now, get this line drawn across the wall, and then unscrew this, move this base unit out, put this on, get my level and square it off again. The batten on now, it's one of them wee jobs, 3 screws. It's one of them jobs I measured 10 times, cut once. Well, I actually measured 10 times, cut twice. Because I originally thought that was the middle there. You see, it was slightly out. Had to move it slightly. Everything's leveled off now, double checked. So instead of 600mm there, which you're supposed to have, by the time I get this panel on here, which is 20mm, another end panel 20mm, I need 640mm, and I want a bit of space. Oh my god, something gone wrong there. No, because the end panel is going on there. That's right. I knew that's why I had to measure 10 times. The very end panel is going on here, so it's 2mm to add on to it. See my wee marks? See, even people think I have no clue. So it's actually 62mm is what I need. But you see I've got 63 there. 62, by the time the panel goes in, it'll be 62 is what I need. I've got 63. Half a centimetre each side, wiggle room, you'll not notice. And that's the exact same. And the tabletop will only be a half a centimetre over the end panels, so I don't have to cut the tabletop again, and so that gives you a wiggle room. So I'm ready now to bring the tabletop across, and I'm going to cut out the sink. I'm going to put the sink in before I put the end panels on. No point in messing up the sink and then having to redo all the end panels. I don't think I got instructions for the sink. The box came battered. Proper brand name sink. Never had a brand name sink before, so hopefully it'll go together pretty well. The only mistake I made, I think, with the sink, if I'll be honest with you, I ordered online, you can't see it right, can you? You know how, I want to show you here. This is my old stainless steel sink here. Do you see the corner of it? Do you see where you got a thickness to it? That means you can put your silicone underneath that. And you got a good bit of silicone. Silicone doesn't work a millimetre wide. It has to be pretty thick. We see the new sink. This is my new sink here. It's got that flush look. Okay, you focus in. Sharp, sharp. So when I put a bit of silicone on that, I can't have the silicone as deep as it would be in the old sink. So that, I think that might be a bit of a flaw, you know. It's really sharp edge, like. So she won't sit it away high up above. I think it's something called style or fashion or something like that there. It's not meant to be totally practical, like. But if I'll be honest, I didn't really know that when I bought it. But that's what it is. I wanted the deep sink. So that's why I bought it, because the deep part. Franke, that's the name. £100 I paid for the taps. You had to have them matching, don't you, like? I like the wee sink itself. So see now, there's no actual fitting instructions as such. There's no, and I haven't got a piece of paper with fitting instructions. So that's me, right? So it never actually came with a template or nothing like that. So I'm gonna just do it the old-fashioned way, and that is measure the size of it. There's instructions there. Instructions are stuck on it. But it'd be nice if it came with a wee paper template, wouldn't it? So by the time I cut that out there, the hole, you haven't got much room for error. Very, very little room for error there. Millimeters. That's, I don't think that's such a good idea, you know. That's tight there. By half a centimetre on that. That's how tight the hole is. There's not much room for silicone. See what the instructions say about that. That's precision there, like. They probably think when people go in for brand names, they're going to have kitchen fitters fitting them, you see. Who know what they're doing. So I'll get the tabletop over and I'll measure out, and I'll get the masking tape on and cut this hole out for this. This is unbelievable. Every stage of this kitchen is mind-boggling. The precision of this is unbelievable. I'll tell you the problem I'm having here. There's my old sink. My old sink is 51 deep. That's the top that you see. But the hole is 47.5. A lot of room for error there, like. 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. You know, it's right but out, like. So the hole is a lot smaller than the sink. This one here is 51.5. So it's not a big difference. It's a half. But I can't make the hole any bigger than 50.5. With the old one, the hole's 47.5. 50.5. What my problem now is, I don't have 50.5. I do not have 50.5 to cut a hole there. It's going to overlap that beam or overlap this metal rock thing. That means if it overlaps the beam there, the sink has to be screwed in before I put the tabletop in place. Because once the tabletop's in place, you won't get at the clamps. Lengthwise, my old sink was 96. This one's 100. The base is only 100. So as you can see, it's the full length of the base unit. But she starts going down there, look. So, I don't know, like. 99, if I got 99 space in there. I thought, oh, my brand name sink and all. Oh, the nice brand name. I don't even have that space. So it's going to be the same again. When I clamp this in, it's going to be on top of this board. It's going to mean I'm going to need two people. Once I clamp that in, I need two people, one each end, so we can lower the thing straight down. I'm not able to put it on myself. So it's going to have to be cut out, put in, and hopefully the clamps look like the cheap clamps you get in the cheap sink. There's no difference in the clamps. And then they're not slimline like. Whenever they're on, they're going to sit down a bit on the chipboard. But that is tight measurement there, boys. It says the silicone is not to be any less than 0.4 millimeters. There's not much room for silicone on that there. You've no point in putting silicone here. There'll be no tabletop. That's hanging on to the tabletop by that small space. That is tight. So the only way I can do that is to draw a line. Forget about the masking tape. Draw a line straight on this tabletop here. Because precision, that's going to be tight, sort of. And then just draw the next line on the side. I can get a pencil or cleaner and clean off the other line now once I got the other line done. And when I cut it, there's no wriggle room. There's zero wriggle room in that. Could have got myself a harder sink to fit. Gee, you never look underneath a sink when you buy one, do you? Oh, it looks pretty there, you think. You never look underneath. Never seen the like of that. That's how they got the room for the deep bit. So there's the actual bowl. To get this extra depth, they've moved the brackets away out. I want a square side bowl. You see where that bowl's done separate? These sinks are 50-year warranty. And normally a sink, you get a plate of metal and you stamp it with a machine. When you stamp it with a machine, it can only stamp a certain amount. Because you imagine the drilling board's not getting stamped much where the big sink is. So a lot of times the sink can't be as deep as you want because the metal will have to be so thick, it costs so much. What they do here is, the metal's a lot thicker. The stainless steel's a lot more stainless steel do that. And you see how they've made them separate. So that there's thick enough so they can stretch it. And then the same with the wee bowl, and then they attach them on, spot welded on. And that's how they're able to get a deep stainless steel sink. Because when I wash a dog food can out, the water wants to splash around the curves. I want it deeper. But I didn't realise it was going to make it harder to fit. Huh? Oh, I just doubt. I may ignore the frame of the cupboard. It's going to hit it. And I'll just position it where I wanted to have it on the tabletop as such. How far I want it from the front. And work it from there. There's a wee board to go on the back yet, so there is. But I had no idea they'd invent such a hard thing to fit. I put the spirit level behind the wall. This is how high tech it is to get a gap. But when the taps go in, it's just missing the back board that's holding this cupboard together. I might end up having to pull that back board off. She's lined up exactly by eye. The metal there is lined up with the edge of that board. Lined up by eye again from there to the edge of that board. Whenever the wee clamps is going on here, the metal clamps will hit these metal runners. But see what happens there. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be a disaster. I'm going to have to cut the metal runners. Can't put it back because I can cut the. It's going to be a disaster. I'll cut it and work out the problem. No, I would go on top of the metal runners. So when I put them clamps on, so clamp onto the tabletop, what probably end up happening is the tabletop is going to be held up a few millimeters. But if they all hit, if all these clamps hit all the edges, it'll still be level. I don't know. Normally you could get a bit of wood and chop a bit of wood out like to make room. It's just awkward. Nothing I can do. All I can do is just cut it now. So I've drawn the line the whole way around. I'm going to lift this away now. I'm going to draw a second line using the spirit level. It's exactly the same length and all from the front. So square enough and all like. See the way that's almost 5. Almost 5. That's almost 5. So I've measured and all the rest. So it's square enough. That's the rough the distance my sink is at the minute. So I'm going to move this now, use the spirit level, try and draw a wee line inside, and got him. Oh, it's going to be tight. What I'd normally get something, see like in brackets, I would get a CD or something. You see, I hadn't even got the distance of a CD to help scribe the size of that. So what I had to do was, I got a pile of cardboard. That's about as much as I could take off there. And what I do then, there's the line there for the outside of the sink. I then put the cardboard down, draw a wee line behind, and then use the spirit level and get that line the whole way. So I need to cut now inside that line. I use my pencil sharpener for the corner. Anytime you're cutting chipboard, never cut square because the chipboard will crack. You always cut a corner, much stronger. You get away with a corner there because the brackets are sitting out pretty far. So you should get away with a bit of a corner without having a square. Look, see that's brave and wide there, only for these brackets. See if them brackets were the other way around. Maybe somebody welded them on back to front, you know. If they were the other way around, that would be far easier to fit. But because the brackets are that way, they're left very little. So I'm going to just cut this out now and see what happens. I said it's going to be one of them jobs, and then you can't lift up and down too. You bang the switches and all that there, then you see. It's going to be awkward. It's going to need 2 people to put it in. But I'll get this cut out now with the jigsaw. I'll screw in the wee metal clips now to screw the tabletop on because I won't be lifting this in and out too often. So I'll lift this tabletop off now. I'll screw on the wee metal clips. Saying that, I could probably screw them on there too for handiness. screw them on there. I might just do that. Whenever the ball's on, you won't get at it with the ball. Put the wee metal clips on the outside. So I can put them on this side here to hold the tabletop. It's just going to be awkward like. When I cut this now as well, because there's no sides, I need to watch it don't snap it. Oh, here it goes. I cut this. I pull it forward from the base unit so I don't cut the base unit. Drill a hole. Start off by doing my first cut down. I'm round the corner now going this way. I need to drag my whole tabletop now down past this here. Then I can cut down without hitting the tabletop. So I'll cut this side here first. Same idea, cutting down. Being careful not to lean on it in case it snaps. This blade I have doesn't want to go around corners very well. It's not the best one to go around corners. I might just stick in a new blade. Maybe a sharper one might do, but she's a bit tight getting that corner at that angle. So I do a bigger corner, but it's not very, it could be a bit narrow to get a tighter corner. So I'll start off here now and go along that line and down that way there. When I get down to the bottom then, I'll slide the whole worktop down. That means then I can cut along there without hitting the side of the unit. And I can cut down there. And it's at that other side of the unit. I can't lift that off altogether. It may have to come off whenever we put the sink in. I think it will have to come off, but I need two people. But the only thing when that's out, it'll be lighter. So even if I can grab the middle, I see what strength's in it. Don't want it snapping on me. When you put the sink into it and tighten the sink up, that puts a bit extra strength back into it. But when that's away, it's vulnerable of cracking. Buying jigsaw blades, that's the cheapest way of buying them. These wee packs here, that was bought years ago like. Well, we got cheap ones that came with the saw. So I don't know if that's a cheap one in there or whether that's a Bosch in there. But I can smell the wood burning. So I think it's blunt. So I'll change this blade. Slide this down now. Hey Lena! Get here wee bed! Whenever I cut this, there's nobody here to hold it. If I cut down here now, if I cut down there now, then I go and I cut this, that's going to snap off and fall in. So I'll cut this first, and then because it's leaning on top of this, I can then cut off this other bit, and then I pull the worktop down. And you just got to support that board. Pull it a wee bit crooked, that's over the top of that bar, that'll stop it falling down that way. See, it's complicated, it can go wrong very, very quickly. Get away from it. Bring the whole thing forward now. If I bring it forward, that'll stop it falling. Have to stay it back then. It's complicated a lot. I'll see now if this is taping it. Oh, she is. Pull this back now. So Job done. Right, I hope I don't break the tabletop now. I'll push it back into place a wee bit. How do we get this out now? Up or down, up or down. Because the jigsaw doesn't cut through square, the wee blade wants to bend all the time. Be careful taking these out here. Doesn't help the tabletop falling out of it, like. It's not how I can do this, not. Rest it on the mat at the back. So we start lifting up both sides together. That's so wet in that. So there you are, brand new blade, DeWalt saw. And look how it's burning the wood. Trying to get around them sharp corners. I'm not a fan of DeWalt. That was that needs rewired, like the wires are getting dodges and anything. Well, yeah, this house is covered with RCDs. I always check the wires themselves, make sure they're okay. There's no chance of no copper there. So I don't like the jigsaw. Boys' tools are just too heavy. They're built to last, and they're too heavy. I'm not boys DeWalt. I'd rather have boys' tools. But I got it cheap years ago. Now what I'm going to do now is pop in the sink. But if I pop in the sink now, we see how it lines up. You see the problems I'm having here now, like. So you see now I'm over the batten. I'm over the metal. And when it's in place, I'm over all these here. So like, there's no way of avoiding it. I'm over everything. So them wee clamps there. Them wee clamps go underneath that tabletop. It's going to hold up a bit. Before I put this in, I'll be putting silicone all around that chipboard. There's very little room for silicone there now. If there's any leaks, you don't want the silicone hitting there. So I'm not siliconing the sink to chipboard. I'm just siliconing the chipboard to make the chipboard watertight. That's separate from the sink. I'll use a good brand. I have a good brand of silicone there. I'll use a good brand for that, because you no way changing that. I got some very cheap stuff there and little. That's alright where it shows. Where's my good brand? But Evo stick. So I'll use the Evo stick for the bit I don't see. Oh, I think I had another one, you know. I bought one on Screwfix. Did I buy? It was Amazon I bought it on. Hey, I tell you what. Oh, I don't believe that, boys. You never believe it, do that. See them tell you. Do you know the way they're all about downsizing? Do you know how you buy your biscuits and there's two less in a packet like Vinnie's biscuits? They're doing the same with silicone. Unbelievable here, boys. Look at the distance from the bottom of that there. I can feel the weight. Look at the distance of the bottom capos of that. That's normal. Look how deep that one's in. It's half empty. See them Evo stick, boys? I'll tell you what, we're getting a measuring tape out here. You can't be rip off Britain or what there, boys. So there you are, look. This is a little less than 3 centimeters of space. 4.5. There's 1.5 less centimeters. The weight difference, that feels half the weight. Now it could be because it's just a bit of recipe, I don't know, but that's half the weight of that. Oh, we'll stick it on the scales and find out. So here we are now. This is the Evo stick. 289 grams. The little, over twice the weight. I don't believe that there. Evo stick is ripping us off. There's nothing in that. There's nothing in that there. Like that cap there is a certain size. The stuff doesn't start to there. Unbelievable that there. All about wasting plastic. Half the tube's empty. Unbelievable. In order to fit the sink now, I need to lift the worktop down. I had it down, ain't fitting, a couple of millimeters out. So what I've done, I've taken away a wee bit from the back, that's where the clamps are. And hopefully now it shall fit in. I'm not touching the front. But that's awkward. The car's not going to be ready today. Luna is bored. So she's up walking around now. So I'll give us another wee push fit. I'm just going to silicone it and stick it in. Nothing else for it. See, I try to keep clean. I hoovered up all the sawdust, and then you have to go and cut another bit. What's the point? What's the point? We'll leave it to the end.